Okay, this message is supposed to be about Charlie Kirk. That's why the internet is going down. Everybody's talking about what happened to Charlie Kirk. Okay. And actually, this is exactly, I won't even say it. I have to start at the beginning. I cannot talk about Charlie Kirk without talking about the church, without talking about the country, what happened, what is happening in the church, what is happening in the country, what is happening in the world. They're all related. And this past Thursday's message made it very clear. I don't know how to make it any clearer. How we're all connected. It's just as if to say Jehovah and Elohim and Adam and the church are all one. We're all one. Just as if to say the Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, but they're not separate. They're woven together, and they're one new thing. You cannot separate Christ in you, or the church at large, of the glorified Jesus Christ, from what's happening in the people, in the community of the church, and the church is global. Okay? But the main focus is happening in America right now. This is very difficult for me, okay, because the truth is unbelievable. The truth about what's happening in the world, that the church is intimately involved in, but is unaware of. They're unaware that they're involved in it because it's Christ in them that is involved in it. The truth is unbelievable. There used to be something called Ripley's Believe It or Not. I think he wrote a book, Ripley's Believe It or Not. All of these things that have happened in this world that are just unbelievable. So what has happened to humanity over this last, it's a matter of opinion, this last 100 years, this last 200 years, the last several hundred years, the last 50 years, okay, how far back do you go? It goes back pretty far. What's happened to the human race is unbelievable. And I have to admit that I'm one who says I do not subscribe to the application of the book of Revelation to current events. I believe the book of Revelation describes the experience that every believer will have. The correct name of the book of Revelation is the revelation, the revealing of Jesus Christ. Okay? And that is the revealing of the resurrected Jesus Christ in the individual. It's an individual experience as we awaken, and that's the key word, as we awaken to the reality of what it means that Christ is inside of us. Everybody knows that. I listened to Thursday's message twice already, not 3 times, and I heard myself say, well, Christ is in you, he's in your heart. Well, everybody, the youngest Christian knows that he's in your heart. That's what you teach your children. Christ is in your heart. But how do you understand that? How can I make that statement to advanced believers on Thursday? Because I now understand it in a whole new way. He's alive in my heart. It's really him. And he's in there and he's really talking to me, and he's involved in not only my life, but in your life and in everything that's going on in the world. It's not just a drop of him that's born in me to be my brother and my best friend. It's him. It's him. He is resurrecting in his church, but he has a problem. He has a problem because He can only appear in this world to the degree that the vessels that he's appearing in can tolerate his mind. The others didn't get here. Okay, brethren. He's only appearing to the degree that we can tolerate his thoughts. Because if he appears beyond, it's just impossible for him to appear beyond our tolerating his thoughts, because we are the mouthpiece through which he speaks in this world. And the way it's set up is that we have to have an understanding to speak what he's saying or what he's thinking. We're his ability to speak. So we have to understand what he's thinking, not that he thinks. We need to understand his forgive me if I have the wrong words. We need to understand in order to speak truth. And the whole world depends on truth. Do we really believe that? No, we don't really believe that. Or maybe you all are just starting to believe that. That what we think molds the world out there. And the big problem that we have thinking that is that, well, I think the doctrine of Christ and nothing changes out there. Because change is slow. Slow and gradual. So we don't believe it. Because we're seeing with our physical eyes. But truth is seen with our spiritual eyes. And so I'm going to, Brooke, could you turn on the air conditioner, please? Mm-hmm. I don't think so. And I want to thank Brooke for coming in here to help me at the Selden Center. She has a secular job. This is her day off, and I really appreciate her coming here to help me. So I'm going to do my best to talk to you about what happened to Charlie Kirk, but it's very difficult for me to do that. Why is it difficult for me to do that? Because, and I didn't finish my thought, with regard to the book of Revelation, I don't subscribe to the church's interpretation of it as it taking place, as its purpose is to take place in the events of the world. It's an individual experience of the revelation of Jesus Christ in the individual. But apparently, to some degree, it's manifesting the principles of some of the book of Revelation in the world, in that the whole world has been deceived. The whole world has wandered after the beast. The whole world has followed, and the beast is as I explained in Thursday's message, the beast is the mindset of the creation that has laid hold of the power of God and has changed it from the image of the living God, the glorious living image of the living God, to the image of beasts and crawling and creeping things. Adam, the spiritual creation of God, has laid hold of the power of God and changed its function. The shadow has refused to reflect the reality. And therefore we have the illusion of contrasting powers or battling powers in the world. It's an illusion. It's the power of God being used properly and the power of God being used improperly. And for whatever the Lord's wisdom, he has decided to not wipe out the creation, the shadow that is not reflecting the reality. He's chosen to let it play out because the creation is a thinking creation and not a clone. And this is true of every individual person. Now that Jesus Christ is glorified, there is no more excuse. Every human being has the potential to reveal Jesus Christ, to experience the revelation of Jesus Christ within themselves, to think with the mind of God, to become a critical thinker, and to become an expression of the righteousness and the morality of Jehovah as revealed through Jesus Christ within themselves, to the fullness of a state where they're called complete, manifesting the morality of God even though we're in an animal body. And now that the work of Jesus Christ is done, in that he's now resurrected and his blood is available to every human being on the face of the earth, okay, as the process continues, you see, the resurrection was not the end. Jesus said it is finished. I hear that quoted so many times. His phase of the creation was completed. His death was completed, and his part of the resurrection was completed, and his blood was prepared to go forth and is going forth to sprinkle on the rest of humanity. It's finished for him. And now, starting with the church, we must experience the revelation of Jesus Christ, because the whole purpose of the creation is that he should be revealed in the world. So here we are, the people that have his spirit so far, because he hasn't spread to all of humanity yet. So the people who have his spirit being confronted with the creation that has changed the image, the vision of what the creation is supposed to be. And the mystery is that both images are inside of us. Then this is the church now. The malformed image, the criminally malformed image that the first Adam is guilty of, he changed the glory of God, the image in our mind, who we believe God is, what we think we're supposed to be doing in this world, and what our role is, what our responsibility is to the Lord Jesus Christ. Brethren, we all have a responsibility to the Lord Jesus Christ, to the church, and if you're a part of this ministry, you have a responsibility to the ministry that goes beyond your tithing. I thank God that all of you tithe. That's how we pay our bills here. But your responsibility goes beyond that. And Brooke rose to the responsibility today. And once again, I thank her. I could have done this by myself, but she's made it much easier for me. So, we have the reality and we have the illusion. We have the reality. If you have Christ, you have the reality. It may not be fully developed in you, but if you have the blood of Jesus, you have the reality of what this world is supposed to be, starting with yourself. So the shadow and the reality is in both of us. And the question is what we believe. Because what we believe is revealed out there, because the whole world is a stage. And what's happening today is the proof that the church has failed. But it's not over yet. Jesus cannot fail. Jesus cannot fail. He will pick us up and put us on our feet. And the church will perform its function. The issue is the church may not perform its function with our bodies if we die before the reality materializes in the world. He has not failed. So the bottom line is this: the truth is unbelievable. How can I talk about the truth of what happened, what I believe happened to Charlie Kirk? I believe it was a false flag. See? You don't have to believe it was a false flag. You can hold your own opinion. What you are responsible for is to listen earnestly to what I have to say and to be open to the possibility of the Lord showing it to you in a different way. And beyond that, you're good, as long as you're working with Jesus to develop unto his tutelage. I'm just his voice, you see. We have trouble hearing what he's saying. Our own mind gets in the way. The ignorance of the soul that we're born with, it gets in the way. We have trouble hearing him. So I'm the idol that has come to life for you to look at, and that's speaking to you. If you recall this from what I said in Thursday's message, I'm the bas relief. I'm the stone statue that is talking to you, that you could see across from you, because you haven't been able to hear all of what he's saying. Maybe you've heard some of it. Maybe you've heard some of it, and then you think you've heard all of it. Or maybe you've heard it. Well, no one has heard all of it, but completely all of it, because he would be in full manifestation if we heard the whole thing. So, but we're getting pretty close. Maybe you don't understand what you heard. So the truth about Charlie Kirk is unbelievable. The truth about what's happened to humanity is unbelievable. But if you're in this ministry, you have a heads up, because I hope you believe what I'm preaching, that it's possible to not physically die. It is possible to not physically die. It is the intention of Jehovah and the Lord Jesus Christ that we should not physically die. Death is the last enemy. So the solution to the fact that everyone you've ever known dies, and any member of the church that you would speak to, except maybe those who listen to me, expect to die, and then their wish comes true, or their expectation comes true. Aside from that, the Bible says death is the last enemy. So everyone that listens to me, your mind is already trained to understand that you cannot believe everything that you hear. You cannot believe everything that your father and your mother taught you. You cannot believe everything that your first pastor taught you. You cannot, I'm just in the church now. If you're Catholic, you cannot believe definitely cannot believe what the Pope tells you. You cannot believe what any of the great preachers of the church for all of the years of the church's existence have taught you. You cannot believe anything. You should not believe carte blanche what I teach you. Your teacher is the Christ within you. And if he's not teaching you directly, yet that means your responsibility is growing him up to the point that you can hear his voice teaching you. And even when his voice teaches you, that does not preclude him from speaking through me also. And technically, I am his first witness. Why? Because he's speaking so clearly through me. And the second witness is Christ in you. There should be an agreement. It's a lot of work to educate yourself. I know that I have been sending you, posting to the political group. I've been posting videos. I've been posting to the land information group for a long time about everything that has been going on in the world. I have done my part. Now, it's all voluntary. All of these extra videos that I give you, they're voluntary. See, maybe you haven't listened to them, or maybe you've listened to them and you haven't understood them, but nobody's asked me any questions. Although I've had many conversations with Brooke and Susan, who are here in New York. See? So I don't know where you are with regard to what's happened in the world, the whole body of unbelievable truth. How could you believe the truth if you don't yet understand that there has been a coup, a world communist takeover? Oh, there she's a conspiracy theorist. Well, there you go. Are you listening? At least, are you considering? There is evidence. I'm not prepared to give you that evidence today. Why haven't I had meetings like this before? Because when it comes to this area of what? Of the life of Christ, of the ministry of Christ. He's my mind, you see? He's me. I cannot exist in this world without his understanding of what's going on in the world. And what's going on in the world is very complicated. The term that's being used for those that have some idea of what's going on in the world today is called the Great Awakening. The citizens of the world are awakening, but mostly it's happening in America. We're the last man standing. The Western governments, the Christian world has been taken over by an antichrist, a communist coup. People are not going to church. The people don't believe, a lot of them don't believe in God anymore. Morals have fallen through the floor. All of that is true. The church is powerless around here anyway. I grew up in a warfare church. I thank God I grew up in a warfare church. To be in Christ is to be at war with the illusion. Well, why doesn't God just stop the illusion? Because we are the illusion. This body is a part of the illusion, and the reality is inside of me. The Lord wipes out the illusion, He wipes out the whole creation. Listen very carefully. Some are going to survive this, and many are not. The truth is all around us. Watch the movie Inception. Everybody looks the same. We all look like we're either male or female human beings. Okay. But everybody's not the same on the inside. Some people are incarnations of the spiritual substance of Jehovah that was given to Abraham. And others are not. They're computer-generated images. And what does that mean? Spiritually computer-generated. It means they're born without the Jehovah's substance. I told you, I'm not going to preach what I said on Thursday all over again. That's what Paul was talking about when he said the Jews have the root of the tree. That was the point that he made over 2,000 years ago. Today, that root is incarnating in people of all nations. Today, the substance of Abraham is Christ, Christ in you. It has nothing to do with your mother, although I believe the Ashkenazi Jews, which are the only Jews that are, they're not the only Jews around, but they're the ones that are preeminent right now, that everybody knows about. For them, there are black Jews, there are Indian Jews, there are Chinese Jews. Jew is not a race, it's a religion. But the European Jews that come basically from Russia have taken the front stage stand. A lot of Jews have the substance because they're in the Torah from the time they're 3 years old. The problem is they're in the Talmud also, but that's not this message either. The truth is unbelievable. But you all have a leg up because I'm teaching something from the Bible that's unbelievable. We're not supposed to die. And it's a lie that you go to heaven when you die. And most of the church doctrine is a lie or a twisting, a perversion of the truth. Who Jesus is a perversion of the truth. He's not God. Now, how can a man be God? How can an animal body be God? You can't believe anything. You can't believe anything. Everything that comes into your ear gates or your eye gates, you have to understand everything has to be tested, not only by the scripture, and this is what the church would tell you, not by your understanding of the scripture, but by the true understanding of the scripture, and your only connection to that is the Christ in the midst of you. Now, if you're not hearing from him yet, then you pray for a teacher. If I'm that teacher, praise the Lord. You take what I say very seriously, but you still pray even though you don't hear an answer. You still say, I want the second witness, Lord, until he starts talking to you. So this is where I'm taking off from. You can't even believe what I say. You can't believe what the church says. You can't believe what they tell you communion is. You can't believe what they tell you happens after death. They've got it all wrong. Well, brethren, you can't believe the news media. See? So this video has come to pass because of some questions that Lappe asked, which I wrote on a piece of paper, which is no longer in my hands because I had to go from Port Jefferson to the Solomon Center here. But one of her questions was, does the media have it all wrong? Because one of the clues that I posted in the political group was the number 17. She said, is the media in on it? Yes, the media's in on it. Everything's a lie out there. Yes, the media has been lying to us for a very long time. The government's been lying to us. The media's been lying to us. Our own soul has been lying to us. Our eyes have been lying to us. Yes, the media is corrupted. You cannot trust them. They have been changing the truth, lying about. See, it's all out there. I've sent you the video. See, I'm not qualified to do this. I'm a student myself of the corruption that's in the world. I am a student myself. And I feel very inadequate to make this video. But I will do my best. But I cannot, I can tell you what I believe to be the truth. But I can't give you the teaching on it. The teaching on, for that you have to go to other teachers. I've recommended teachers to you in the information and in the political group. That's the best I could do. Yes, it's all a lie. Now, I recently posted in the, I put it in the information group. It's a video that exposes the truth about Sandy Hook. You may recognize that name. There was a school shooting at Sandy Hook, I think in Connecticut, I think it was, where all these children were supposed to have died. It was a big tragedy. And then the Democrats made this big move to take the guns away from everybody in this country. Well, nobody died at Sandy Hook. I am convinced no children died, nobody died at Sandy Hook. And somebody made a video proving that. I don't have the ability to prove it to you, but I posted the video just 2 days ago when all of this started in the Limb Information Group. Brooke, do you know the name of that video? Did you know the name of that video?
No, I don't know the name of that video, but I found Leslie's question, so
Okay,
I'll
okay,
keep that.
okay, thanks. I'm sorry that my memory with all these names is not better than it is, but it's one of the most recent postings in the Limb Information Group. That was a turning point for me. This man who was a naturalized American citizen, he wasn't born here. So he...
I got it. Is it Dear Wolfgang exposing the truth behind
Yes,
Sandy Hook?
thank you, dear Wolfgang. His name is Wolfgang. And he had intimate exposure to communism in his birth country. And he had a job as a government official. And could not accept the lies that were being told to him because he recognized what was happening, having experienced communism. He made this video. You need to listen. If you, that's how you get started. All I could do is give you the videos. Nobody died at Sandy Hook. The first time I heard that, I said, that's crazy. What do you mean nobody died at Sandy Hook? Who could believe the depth of the evil that existed in the minds of people to fool us, the public, about something like that? And then, of course, the follow-up question, why? Why would you do that to us? How did you do it? Excuse me. How did you do it? And why did you do it? The how that you did it is maniacal. They actually embedded families in the community. You see, brethren, several years ago, when I used to watch a lot of television, there was a TV series. I just loved it. Thank you. And of course, I don't remember the name. Okay, but it was about agents, communist agents coming from Russia to America and living as they had two children, and they were raising a family. They were living there for years. The whole community knew them and loved them. The parents were involved in the school district, and they were communist agents. That's called embedding people in the community. And the woman, more so than the man, as I recall, and I watched it a few years ago, she would go out and have sex with whoever she was directed to have sex with to accomplish the purpose of her superiors, whatever her purpose was in that action. Thank you, Kirk. Is that not evil? Well, spying has been going on for years. Spying and counter spying, and it's the way of the world, except that it never touched the average person. It was always out there. Well, my government's doing it, my country's doing it, and therefore it's okay, it's for the good of the country. And somewhere, and I don't have my years right, I don't know, 50 years ago or so, I don't know, I don't have the numbers right, the government of this great country turned against its citizens. Yes.
Did you need the name of that TV show?
Yes, do you have it?
Susan wrote it in, the Americans.
The Americans, yeah, the Americans. Thank you, Susan. 50 years or so ago, I don't know, maybe more. I'm not good with the numbers. I'm not equipped to preach this. But somewhere in the not too distant future, the government of this great country turned against its own citizens. It happened, the Lord just reminded me, or someone just told me in the spirit, at the end of World War II. Some people say World War II never ended. How do we say that? Well, look at Europe and look at America. We're devastated. Economically devastated, morally devastated. There has been a war being waged against us called fifth generation warfare. Irregular war. No one with a gun, no one putting a gun to your head. I preached all this on Thursday, but I know that sometimes it doesn't stick until it sticks. I'm just like you all, it doesn't stick until it sticks. The Lord's been teaching me this little by little I was thinking about it earlier, for at least 20 years, if not longer. The truth behind the lies. Once you have an initial breakthrough in that you can see the evil, then you start to grow from there. And how far along am I? I don't know. There are others that are far more along than I, and I study with them as long as the Lord witnesses to me that they're in truth. But they're people way beyond me with this understanding. Once you break through that we're living in the matrix and that the whole world is fake and that the people that have power over us, have been lying to us forever, then you're open to understanding the most unbelievable things little by little. And the biggest, or one of the biggest, if not the biggest enemy in their arsenal is the media. The media was corrupted under the Obama administration. A law was passed. Our whole government is corrupted, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm mistaken, please, Tony knows sometimes more about this than I do. Please write it in if I'm mistaken. A law was passed on Christmas Eve when nobody was in the Senate. They got the bill passed to there was a law against propaganda in this country, and that law was lifted. And that was the end of us. But at the end of that happened only in the Obama administration. At the end of World War II, our military forgave the sins of a lot of Nazis and brought them over to this country. They actually made a movie about it. The movie was with Spencer Tracy, and he was really good in the role. How he was a fanatic, an American officer, a fanatic of having hatred for the Nazis. We're not to hate anybody, brethren. We are to punish injustice dispassionately. We're supposed to be a nation under law, and every Christian is supposed to be under the law. That's ridiculous that there's no more law. We're under the law. The Holy Spirit gives us the power to keep the law. Christ empowers us to understand the law so that the Holy Spirit can empower us to keep it. In any event, Spencer Tracy was passionate about his job of persecuting this particular German. But the end of the movie was, after all of that had gone into the Nuremberg trials, okay, the order came down from the top that they're not really going to prosecute. From the top brass of the military, the decision, at least according to the movie, that the really big guys, they're not going to prosecute. Why? Because they moved them to America. Why? Because they wanted their secrets. That's how NASA got started. They were all Nazis from Germany. And through this, and there's so much more to this that even if I was capable of teaching it, I haven't retained all of it. But it's like the Tavistock Institute comes to my mind. I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh. He used to talk about the Tavistock Institute all the time. I never looked up what it was. You can only receive so much of this information. It's just like Christ and the Kabbalah. You can only absorb so much. You can only go so fast. No matter how smart you are, you cannot start a 4-year program at college and complete it in 6 months. It's more than the material. Your mind can't absorb. So you have to understand. First, you have to learn it. Then you have to understand it. And then it has to become, and then out of all of that, you form an opinion. And it's the opinion that becomes a part of you, or a part of your personality. So you all have a leg up. It's everything I've been teaching you about Christ and the Kabbalah and the doctrine of Christ. It's the same thing. So first you're learning it spiritually. Now your mind is developed so you can see the truth in the world. But there are some people out there that were able to see the truth without the development that we've been having here. Everybody's not the same. My mind needed this development. I don't know if I would have ever understood the truth out there if the Lord didn't develop me through Christ and the Kabbalah. Some people are smart enough to just go out there and do it, And some people can understand Christ and the Kabbalah without Christ. The only problem is when you understand it intellectually, you don't get the increase. See? But the best way to do it is through Christ. Is so that Christ in you is understanding all this. Because when it's your carnal mind that understands all this truth, it could work out to be bad for you. How could it work out to be bad for you? Well, brethren, open up your eyes, listen what's on the internet. It's a call to arms. There are forces that would like a civil war in this country now, neighbor against neighbor. I've seen the videos. Neighbor against neighbor. Assassination is good. Get those conservatives. And the conservatives are saying, well, let's get them before they get us. I saw the video just this morning. We're at the point of civil war. And therefore the military is going to have to move. And they will move. I'm jumping all over the place. Let me back up. Why didn't our military do anything sooner? The 2020 election was stolen. How could anybody not see that Biden was a terrible president? I have relatives that have master's degrees, law degrees. My nephew's a lawyer. And they think Biden was wonderful. Did you not see him falling down the steps or going to the airplane? Did you not see him bumble and fumble and not be able to talk? What is wrong with your mind? My attorney nephew swore to me that the key element was Roe versus Wade, and as soon as Trump got into power, he was going to reverse it on the side of the right. Couldn't tell him anything. Couldn't get past that one issue. You can't tell them anything. Your mind has to be ready for the truth. And apparently the more educated you are, the less likely you are to break through. Why? Because of idolatry for academia. So some people say World War II is just being wound up now. Did you know there were Nazis in Ukraine? Did you know there were Nazis in Ukraine? Brethren, I've watched hundreds of videos over the years. I don't have it all to give to you now. Except that everything you're being told by the news is a lie. And the truth is unbelievable. Which is what? Is that there's been a worldwide communist coup, and that America is the last country standing, and the patriots in our military, which military is divided, they drafted President Trump, and they have a plan because this is irregular warfare. And this in regular warfare, you kill the soldiers. In irregular warfare, you kill the people. In addition to the men, you kill the women and the children by killing their mind, by destroying their mind with lies, and hindering their ability to develop critical thinking, and making mind slaves out of them and making them dependent on the state. With all of the money, even the ones making 6 figures, dependent on the medical system, depending on the government for this, depending on the government for that. What is the truth? Our own government's trying to kill us. Spraying chemtrails, choking us to death, corrupting our food, corrupting our water, corrupting our minds, corrupting our children, turning them away from God and making little communists out of them. The universities have been turning out communists for the last 3 or 4 graduating classes, or generations. I saw a video this morning. Lappy sent me a video this morning. My response was, hold on to your emotions. Don't be manipulated. The first word out of the man's mouth on that video was a lie. Lappy, is Lappy online?
No, that I can.
She didn't make it on?
Yes, it looks like she was on.
One of the first words out of that man's mouth on that video that you sent me was a lie. He said the murderer of Charlie Kirk has been found. Someone's been arrested. There's been no trial. There's been no determination. Maybe he's the murderer, maybe he's not. Maybe he's another Lee Harvey Oswald. Maybe he's a patsy. And the rest of that video was tugging at my emotions. I don't listen to anything that's tugging at my emotions. There are too many anomalies, too many things that don't add up when you get out of your emotions and get into your rational mind. Too many things don't make sense from this so-called assassination. So first you have to believe that you can't believe anything. If you're going to even consider what I have to say, you have to understand the state of the world and the state of this country, and that the government is the enemy of the people. Did you know that under the Biden administration, the most serious threat to the country are conservatives? And that's the statement. I don't know whether it was a law or a statement or an executive order. I'm not sure what it was. It was the official policy of the Department of Justice that the most dangerous threat to the country were white Americans with guns. I want you to know every person that has refused to give up their gun, I thank God for them. We would have been taken over a long time ago if it wasn't that the fact that we're an armed population. The courts are corrupted. They're letting the criminals out. The Ukrainian woman that was stabbed in the neck by an immigrant. The mayor I believe it was the mayor of the city. Her response to that was, we need to have more compassion for the homeless. The law-abiding citizens of the nation have been set up on an altar for sacrifice. It's what you would hear others say to liberal values, but it's not liberal values, it's communist values. Communist values that are determined to destroy the integrity, the self-confidence, and certainly the relationship with God of all of the peoples, and then control them fully. Evil people. Our own nation, our own politicians stealing, becoming multimillionaires within 3 or 4 years after being elected to Congress. They're millionaires, multimillionaires. Excuse me. Passing Obamacare, which ruined an excellent health plan, I don't know what the right word is, for the country. But they did not make themselves subject to it. They made the whole world subject to this dumbed down medical system, but they themselves were not subject to it. Betrayed by our own politicians. So why didn't the military move? The military did move. The military did move, but they had a problem. The citizens are mentally ill. Large numbers of American citizens are on legal drugs, illegal and legal drugs, dumbed down because they've destroyed our education department. They don't teach civics. The new generations don't know anything about government. They've destroyed us little by little. There's a song like that. There used to be a song like that. Killing me softly, little by little. A large percentage of our population are destroyed. The men are being taught to be effeminate. The women are taught to be, rather the women are taught that they can do everything, but you cannot do everything. I was around in the 60s. Women were told you could do everything. You could be the head. You could be a CEO of a big corporation and have 5 kids and everything, and your family will be healthy and everything. No, you can't. No, you can't. They blurred the gender roles. They have morally destroyed they have morally destroyed every citizen of this country that they were able to morally destroy. And the hardest, most difficult, the problems for them are the Christians. So then they moved to destroy the Christian church and corrupt the pastors. Under previous generations, administrations, brother, the plan was to have, do you know that there were concentration camps in this country? The plan was to lock up everybody through COVID. Trump put a stop to that. There are concentration camps in this country. Obama ordered, and I'm not good with the numbers, a large number of coffins and guillotines. Did you know that? And a large percentage of the pastors sold their congregation out. They took their marching orders from the government. Through COVID, they were going to advise everyone to go into the camps. You can't just say Trump. You have to give credit to the military. He's their figurehead. I mean, he's doing what he's doing, but he has a patriotic military behind him. They stopped that. They saved the American citizens from that. See? So our own government has turned against us. And the other governments of the world have fallen to communist leaders. They've taken over all the halls of power across the world. And so our military did move, but they had to move in a manner that was underground. Why? Because all of the mind-controlled citizens would not have supported them. And and this is the core of what I have to tell you today, I guess. And so what our military did with what Trump and President Trump and our military did, actually President Trump did it with the office of president of his first administration. He signed an emergency act. He declared a state of emergency, which kicked in COG, C-O-G, which stands for continuation of government. And then there's a whole set of instructions as to how that works. We've been under a military judgment since 2020, a military government since 2020. The whole Biden administration was phony. Don't shut your ears, don't shut your ears. We've been under COG since 2020. President Trump ceased being president, but he did not cease being commander-in-chief. The President of the United States is both President and Commander-in-Chief, CIC. He never ceased being Commander-in-Chief. He never turned that office over to Obama. Did you look at the videos of the Biden? I'm sorry, not Obama, Biden. Sorry. Did you ever see the videos of Biden, of the motorcade of Biden coming to office? The soldiers turned their back. There were videos of the soldiers turning their back on him. They knew he wasn't president. Biden was never president. Sheila, what are you talking about? Well, he was, all of the videos that you saw took place on a movie set. Sheila, you're crazy. Brother, listen. I listened to 3 hours last night to a couple of the people that I am listening to. I will believe them as long as the Lord witnesses to me there's truth coming from them. The one guy that I like the most, his name is Dave. I don't even know how I found him. I was thinking about it the other night. How did I even find him? And then there were several others. And these guys, well, maybe I won't tell you that now. Listen, this is, he's got such incredible wisdom. I think he was born Christian, but I don't think he's particularly Christian. You know, if you ask him, he would tell you he believes in Jesus Christ. I don't even know if he goes to, I don't even think he goes to church. His story is this. It appears, though he doesn't tell me, I haven't heard him say it directly, excuse me. Seems to be an educated man with a job in management on some level, but with a business background. He said he spent 10 years traveling around China for his business. So either it was his own business or he was some kind of an executive. You don't travel around China for a 5-digit salary. I'm sorry. So he's very smart. And he has said, this is just in conversation from listening to him, that at one point when he saw the truth, the result of his seeing the truth blatantly resulted, I'm going to say it wrong, Brooks got to correct me, PSTD?
PTSD.
PTSD. He had PTSD. And again, he didn't go into the details, but apparently he couldn't work for a while. Sorry. And he was ill. To me, that sounds like he had a nervous breakdown. And he doesn't have a whole testimony. He just drops little things here and there about his life. That he had gone home to live with his mother, wondering what would happen, what he would be doing with the rest of his life. So this is the story. He saw truth. Something in him was able to see truth behind the lie. It was so shocking to him. He had a PTSD, okay, that knocked him off his leaves, that he couldn't even work for a while. And then he recovered by retaining this insight. And now this is what he does for a living. He holds these live streams, sharing his insight with whoever wants to listen. He has incredible insight. Okay? And he has one show on Friday night where he lets the people call in. Brethren, I would be very shocked if he was what we would call a practicing born-again Christian. I don't even know that he's born again. I know, he has compassion. See, what I'm telling you is I don't think that this compassion is coming out of a religious man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I think he's an average guy that was raised Christian, probably Catholic, from what I understand. And this is what God is doing with him. So all of you that have any pharisaical tendencies, you've got to snap out of it. See? He is so compassionate, and he and Rambo, the guy that he was on with last night, this is the wisdom I heard last night. Let me share it with you. This is the great awakening. People have got to wake up and understand that we're living in the matrix, and that the government and the news media and all of the institutions are the enemy of the people. Do you know what came out last week? That the government owns one of the patents. Well, see, I don't have it exactly right. Our government owns the patent for COVID. Did you know that COVID was patented? But then you cannot patent something. You cannot patent something. You cannot get a patent on something that occurs in nature. COVID was created and patented, and our government owns it. The government that was mandating the inoculations owns the disease, the virus. All of this is coming out now through the Trump administration. It came from the military. DARPA, our military, our Pentagon, our military. Turned against the people. How did that happen? Our military was infiltrated by the Nazi scientists that they refused to punish and brought to this country because they wanted their secrets. Well, what just popped into my mind, isn't that just like saying I want spiritual power or spiritual knowledge and I'll get it from Satan? If Jesus isn't giving it to me, so I'll go get it from Satan. That's what some of the Jews did. They weren't receiving spiritual knowledge from Jehovah, so they went and took it from the Talmud, which is they took the Babylonian mysticism. Well, that's what our Pentagon did. And then they were captured by the Nazi spirit or whatever it is. So here's this man, Dave, don't even know his last name, telling all of the people like me and those that know more than I do, okay, You have to be compassionate towards the people that are not where you are. Everybody's opinion has to be respected. This great awakening that's happening in this country, every individual has to be respected. That was the intention of the founding fathers of this country. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that includes your opinion. No one should be punished or harassed or demeaned for their opinion. But we should be able to talk to each other and respect each other and have a conversation about it. And not stop loving each other because we have different opinions. Well, that's what this country was founded on, but it's not that way today. People cheering that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Is that horrible? I mean, that is a corrupted mind. That, you see, the society is tolerating fornication. Oh, well, they were in love anyway. Tolerating adultery. Oh, well, they weren't happy anyway. Tolerating homosexuality. Well, you don't really want them to go without love in their life, right? Okay. Tolerating transgenderism. Well, that's who they are. You know. See, the next step down is bestiality. All of this pushing with the man and his dog, okay? But that isn't what popped up first. Bestiality didn't pop up first. Or man-child sex being made legal, that didn't pop up first. What has exploded on the consciousness of the world is the lack of respect for life. To think that you would murder somebody because of their opinion. To think that you would remove someone from society because of their opinion. This came up in a recent meeting. What is God's response to wrong teaching? He speaks the truth. And every individual has to decide for themselves what is true. Every human being born from a woman today has access to Jesus Christ. No more excuses. He is an incredible man. And he took calls from people that knew more than I do. For example, one person that got on the line, this is what he said. He was a hunter. He hunted deer. And he said he had more than one time shot the artery of a deer. And that what we saw online, the video of what happened, of the assassination, that's not what happens when you shoot someone in their jugular. He said, oh, well, I saw the video. I think they've taken the video with the blood off the air. It just poured out of him like water coming out of my faucet on my sink. He said, no, it doesn't work like that. It comes out in spurts. Every time the heart beats, it spurts out. The heartbeat spurts out. And then secondarily, he said, what about the exit wound? Okay. There was no sign of blood on his shirt. It poured out of his neck, but it didn't touch his shirt. And the guy behind him was wearing a white shirt. There was no video of anyone. What would the reaction be? Oh my God, I'm all covered with blood. No. There was no ambulance on the scene. They took him away in a truck, I'm not sure. There was no ambulance. There was a squib, what could have been a squib on his shirt. Could have been a squib on his shirt. A packet of false blood. These are what they call data points. What I'm trying to tell you right now is that this man, Dave, who has incredible insight, whether you believe him or not, he has incredible insight. And he supports everything that he says, which I cannot do. I can't do for you what he does. He listened to, after listening to the hunter, someone got on crying over the death of Charlie Kirk. Now, Dave doesn't believe I don't know whether he believes he's dead or not. He believes it was a false flag. I think he believes he's still alive, but I'm not sure about that. And so someone came on and cried online over the death of Charlie Kirk. And he commiserated with him, accepted his opinion. You believe Charlie Kirk is dead? I accept your opinion, and it was a terrible thing that happened. So, there were so many degrees of deception here. We must accept everybody. Everybody must choose the degree to which they're believing this deception. You can feel free to say to me, Sheila, I believe this, you said this, but I cannot believe that. That's fine. It's not to your advantage to hide from me. It is to your advantage to talk to me. Maybe I will say something that will change your mind. Maybe you will say, maybe you will say something that will change my mind. And as I told you on Thursday, that's what the discipleship is. But it's only the people in New York and one or two other people that are involved in that kind of a relationship with me, and that's your choice. It's between you and God. There's no dialogue, you see. I don't know. Although we started with the discussion group, and that was really positive. We have another question out in the discussion group, by the way. So I don't want it to sound like I'm harassing you or I'm angry at you. That's not the case. I'm trying to impress upon you how important it is. But it really is up to you. I don't love you any less or respect you any less. If all that you want from this ministry is to listen to the message, it's your choice. I may get a little frustrated, but if I do get frustrated, that's pride in me, and I have to repent of it. Because I'm here to teach, and you take whatever you want. As long as you don't attack me, don't attack me. I'm really very nice, don't attack me. If you have a problem with me, don't hate me in secret. Talk to me about it. If all that you want is the message, praise the Lord. That's your right, and I respect your choice. And that was Dave last night. From one caller that seemed to have a deep understanding of the deception going on, to the next caller that didn't even seem to hear the first caller, was just crying over the death of Charlie Kirk. Dave even at one point, just out of curiosity, he said, well, everyone that believes it was a false flag, type in a 1, and everyone that doesn't think it was a false flag, type in a 2, just to get an idea of the spirit of the chat. And most of the people typed in a 1. Most of the people that believed it was a false flag, but those that didn't were accepted. Well, that's a Christ teaching. See, it's the exact opposite of communist teaching, which sets us at odds with our fellow man and with our own relatives. So the country and the world, but mostly America, we're under this communist attack, okay, that you hate the person that thinks differently than you do. And it's pretty far gone. I watched a video this morning. I'll see if I can find it and I'll post it. It was a very good demonstration of how this 5th generation warfare, which corrupts your mind, you see, it sets brother against brother. They want a civil war here. There would have been a civil war here a long time ago if we were not an armed country. And the information is voluminous. I've been watching for at least 20 years, if not more. It started with me noticing things myself, things that were not right. And then I would ask the Lord about it. And little by little, Actually, it was someone who's not in the ministry anymore that really got me going. I saw the big corporations coming in. It was actually someone who's not in this ministry anymore, who unfortunately I had to ask to leave, who started me by directing me to a link that said it was a woman saying that she was captured and taken to a satanic ritual in the basement of Oral Roberts University. Now, is that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard of in all of your life? Oral Roberts having a satanic ritual in the basement of his university. I said, you're crazy. I didn't say that. Anybody that wants to sue me, I didn't say that. She led me to that link. And then just one thing led to another. And now, you see, everybody, you have to believe as much as you can believe. Do you believe that the people that have perpetrated this coup against the Western governments of the world, that they're Satanists, that they worship Satan and offer human sacrifices to Satan? Did you know that? And please, I hope I have the people right when I'm going to say this. There were two people. I think one was Clinton, and one was Obama. I may have the wrong ones, but there were two prominent names that had a private chef, and both chefs have been murdered. Well, what does that mean, Sheila? Huh? What does that mean? Well, they were cooking human flesh for them. They're cannibals. You don't want to believe that? That's okay. That's okay. What can you believe? This is the relationship I have with Susan and Brooke, the only two people that are having the conversation with me. Believe as much as you can. It's okay. It's okay. So, I guess I'll just wrap this up by saying that our government, the patriots in the military and President Trump devised a plan to save the Republic. Because the Republic was defeated by a soft coup, by the destruction of the minds of the citizens. Now, the military could have gone in and arrested everybody because the whole government is corrupted. They're all taking graft. They're either taking money from China or the representatives, the senators, except for a very few. They're all taking money from China or from the pharmaceutical industry, or you should not be taking money from any source that could benefit from your vote when you are elected to Congress. Rather, the whole government has to be redone. It's utterly corrupted. It's moth-eaten. Betrayed by our own presidents, starting with Bush Sr., except for Trump. Kennedy was assassinated because he saw what was happening. I was going to finalize this with a certain thought, and it just left me just a second. Let me see where I was. Yes, so our military, our patriotic military, and President Trump devised a plan to save the Republic. You cannot save the Republic without saving the people, because the people would just elect the government that's mind controlling them again. And it would have been the last election. It would have just been a communist state. It would have been the end of America. So the plan that the military and President Trump came up with was a counter coup. A coup, the vernacular is the white hats against the black hats. A counter coup, using the same tactics that the that the enemy of the Republic used, okay, to wage irregular warfare against the citizens, the unsuspecting citizens, most of which went to church on Sunday, or at least honored Jesus Christ if you ask them. Okay. So the patriots in the military and President Trump decided to wage a counter coup using the same tactics or the same techniques to more or less deprogram the people. I can't believe that, Sheila. Then don't believe it. Just take whatever you can believe. Just take whatever you can believe. And we've been under continuation of government. And there are people, if you go online, there's one guy, Derek Johnson, he's a veteran, I think he's a Marine veteran. He's incredible. He talks about the articles of war. There is so much information out there, but it takes time. It takes time and willingness to believe and to weed out. You don't want to be learning from the wrong people. There are several guys that go online that they will make the case. I can't make the case for you. I don't know how. That we are under, America is under continuation of government. And if you listen carefully to President Trump when he speaks and the members of his administration, you'll hear things like 45-47. Okay. He's the 45th, he was the 45th president, and now he's the 47th president. But he's telling you he never stopped being president. He was commander-in-chief through the whole Biden administration, which was a fake administration. That was never, they were never in the White House. They were on a movie set. Can't believe that. That's okay. It's okay. But please, ask the Lord for the truth. Ask the Lord for the truth. So, we're in the midst of a coup right now by the white hat patriots of America. We're in a coup against the coup that was perpetrated against the American people, using the same techniques that the enemy used, mind control techniques, to deprogram them and wake them up. Programming means you're in a deep sleep and you don't know what's going on around you. Did Tony say something here? Is that for me?
Yes, he was talking about the specific act for propaganda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was, the original act was in 1948, the Smith-Mundt Act, and then in 2012, Obama changed some of it to authorize propaganda in this country. He said he did an AI search that propaganda is used in the U.S., employed by political campaigns, corporations, foreign governments, and other groups. Rather than focusing on a single overt campaign, modern propaganda exists within a complex information ecosystem that includes domestic and foreign efforts, disinformation, and media polarization. And then when you're talking about the guillotines, he typed in FEMA camps.
Okay. So we're in a counter coup right now, trying to deprogram the people. It's called the Great Awakening. So what's going on is that the white hats are doing things that are false, trying to get the people to recognize that doesn't make sense. They're doing things that should get the person that's spiritually asleep should be able to see these events and say, this doesn't make sense. I may not understand it, but something's wrong here. I saw a video of the Charlie Kirk assassination. In that 3-hour show that I watched last night, I saw it 3 times and then they played it in slow motion. But then there were a series of hand signals going on. Okay. Charlie himself touched his nose. He had 2 men behind him. The guy behind him touched his hat. In sequence, nose, hat, arm. And the guy who moved his arm stepped to the side, shot. Nose, hat, arm, step to the side, shot. Does that alone tell me he's not dead? No, it's what they call a data point. The question is, are you willing to consider the possibility that he's still alive? Are you willing to consider it? If you don't want to, it's okay. If you got anything out of this exhortation, that it was worth your while to be here. If you can believe that you cannot believe anything that the media tells you, that's really good. You're waking up. Yes, to answer Lappier's question, yes, the media was in on it. At one point, I think it was, I won't say the wrong media source, they were editing videos. They edited a video of Trump's debate with Kamala so severely that he won a multi-million-dollar suit against them for what they did. Yes, the media's in on it, yes. The media's in on it. Many hospitals were in on it. Some hospitals. Why would the hospitals be in on it? Because of the pressure of the insurance companies. Money, 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 money. The moral fiber of the country is deteriorating and hanging by a thread. You see? So 80 years ago, you told the young ladies, no, don't fornicate. That's really wrong to do that. See? And then that changed little by little. Well, they're in love anyway. See? But you're on a slippery slope. When you start to violate God's law, you're on a slippery slope. The issue is that the worst doesn't come in the generation that you're doing this in. I saw a movie a while ago. I only watch old movies. It was whatever year it was from. There used to be a morality in the movies. And I don't think the movie was made to teach anyone morality. It was a story. And it was how the young lady got involved in fornication, okay? And it seemed okay in the rest of her life. And then she had a child. And the child was wild and rebellious. And if you can make the connection, it was there. And I don't think that was the point of the movie. It was something that everybody sort of knew in those days. Your sin, you have the same soul as your child, brethren. You don't have a soul here and then your child gets a soul there, which I've heard preached. It's the same soul. Your soul flows into the child. It's the same soul. That's family line sin. You have the same soul. So we're under a soft coup now. And it's the white hats doing things that are unbelievable in the hope of waking people up. So the question is, let's just say that the white hats orchestrated this assassination. Can you consider it? Will you consider it? The white hats did it. See? And he's not really dead, hypothetically, okay? Why in the world would they do that? Well, for a couple of reasons. Okay. They need the whole country behind them to arrest the government. And the people, the large percentage of the people attending Trump's rallies were over 40 or over 50. They had not touched the next generation. Brethren, do you believe the CIA created the Beatles? Did you know the CIA created the Beatles? The CIA created Marilyn Monroe. Okay. The CIA and the FBI have been molding society for generations. And they created a Charlie Kirk, a conservative Charlie Kirk that sees that positively inflamed, set on fire the hearts of a generation. So why would they take him out? Well, it's what I read, and it's just suppositions, I don't know, that Israel was closing in on him. See, this is really hard. See, but what's coming out and what will come out, is going to come out with a terrible smell and a sound, terrible sound, that the nation state of Israel in the Middle East, not your Jewish neighbor, the nation state of Israel in the Middle East is behind all of this. And that the people that are behind it, they say it's about 3,000 people that are behind it, that the majority of them are Jewish. But I'm Jewish, and I never heard of such a thing. On my whole neighborhood, my parents never heard of it. So anyway, Charlie Kirk was very pro-Israel. But with what's going on in Gaza, he was starting to change his opinion. I read several articles. Netanyahu's been inviting him to Israel for several weeks and he refuses to go. Why would he refuse to go? Well, why do you think Netanyahu was inviting him to Israel? Because he thinks it's time for him to have a vacation? I read that Israel invites our legislators, senators and representatives to Israel every year, whole groups of them. They bring them to Israel to indoctrinate them. Charlie Kirk refused to go. And he was changing his position on Israel. See? And so some say Israel may have assassinated him. So listen, one of the things that the White Hats are doing is they're ahead of the Black Hats. They get ahead of them and use their nefarious plans for the good. It's a big game that's being played. So let's just say, hypothetically, Israel had plans to assassinate Charlie Kirk. And the White Hats found out about it and staged their own assassination and took him off to witness protection. Well, Sheila, you're just going too far. Okay, don't follow me there. Don't follow me there. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying it's a possibility. His wife is out there the next day, is cool and calm, is collecting her makeup on perfectly, giving a political speech. My husband, rah, rah, rah. How natural do you think that is? So what am I saying? There are signs, they're called data points, little signs that we're all challenged to look at. And don't take my word for it, but draw your conclusions. Ask the Lord about it. The big thing is, can you see the data points? Do you see the signals? It's on the video. No blood on his shirt. No blood on the guy behind him. No blood on the wall behind him. Okay. Are you willing to look at the data points? And there are so many more that I've just viewed recently. Are they proof? No, but they're data points. And the Lord reminded me of one that I haven't even, no one else seems to have picked it up. I subscribe to a lot of channels on Telegram. I like them because I can't be listening to too long hour videos. I can't be listening to 15 of them every day. So I like the channels that give you news clips. And I subscribe to several of them. I don't even know where I read this. I don't know where I read it. But it was said that this person, whoever it was, because I don't remember where I read it, that they have someone that they know was in the military, in a high place in the military, and they called them. This was like maybe the 9th or the 8th this past week, and they called them saying they couldn't tell them anything, but something really heavy was coming down on Tuesday and just asking for prayer. And the person reporting it said that the man that had contacted him sounded very intense, and so he was passing on the request for prayer. That something very heavy was coming down Tuesday. Well, it didn't come down Tuesday, it came down Wednesday. What came down? Maybe the White Hats took him out just before the Black Hats executed their plan. I don't know. And there are many of these things. Should I put it on this video? I don't know. I don't know where you all are. And here's the big question in my mind. How many of you are going to talk to me after this video? Because basically only one person comes on to the ending comments. Again, I'm not mad at you again. I don't know what to do other than to tell you the truth. Every once in a while, someone else comes on to the ending comments. Who's going to say something at the end of this video? Was anybody going to say anything? I don't know. So I don't know what you know. I don't know what you believe. See? But if you believe some of this, you're at least being involved in the awakening process. Did I answer all of Lappy's questions? Oh, you gave it to me to answer her questions. I don't think I did. Let me see. Are they saying he wasn't? Some are saying he was not killed. There are many that believe he was not killed. And some believe that he was killed. The Fox News guy saying 17, you see, brother, in addition to everything that I told you, there's this QAnon movement. Now, a lot of people believe what I just told you, but they don't believe in QAnon. And that's okay. Just believe whatever you want to believe. So what is QAnon? QAnon, I remember when it came out, 10 years ago. I was not interested when it came out. I remember I was listening to Jordan Sather at the time, and he was all for it. And I had no patience for it, because it was, they were finding postings on 4chan, which is I don't know if they call it a poster board. That's not the right word, but it's a board like a chat room, an online chat room, but they use another word. Okay. And these postings were coming forth with cryptic statements and questions, and that's actually, it's my downfall. I don't read my emails accurately. Everything's quick, and then I miss things, and then I have to go back or be embarrassed because I didn't read your email properly, something like that. I can't be bothered. You want me to start decoding all of this crazy stuff? Leave me alone with your puzzles, okay? This is not for me, and I was not interested at all for years. I can't even tell you when I got into it, maybe just a year or two ago. I don't know exactly when it started. It's very recent for me. So that's all that I don't know how to explain it to you. Otherwise, the claim is that military intelligence, that American military intelligence has set up these series of postings that they call Q drops, individual separate postings that are posted to this board, or I'm calling it a chat room because I can't remember do you know what the right name is?
No.
Okay. So they're posted to this board. I think it started on the dark web, if I'm not mistaken. And with these cryptic statements and questions that were intended to be decoded. And it started out, was a big thing, all of these people decoding Q, and it was a big controversy. Some said it was real, others said it wasn't real. It was a big controversy, and I wasn't having any of it at the time. But that's what it claims to be, that military intelligence reached out with this set of communications that, if you listen to any of the videos, they call them comms, which with this set of communications directed to the American people that were ready and willing to have this relationship, to believe it was military intelligence and have the relationship. In other words, they were starting to wake up or to deprogram the American public with that element of the public that was most likely to believe what really happened, and to start the regeneration process. And today, And then at some point, the drops stopped. The posts are called drops. They stopped. And today it's turned into this big thing where, how do I even describe it? They're going back to drops that came into existence years ago. They're going back to 2017, 2018. And it's a study of the drops. They call it past proves future. And they're showing how these events are coming to pass. And then if you can decode what's being said, you can understand what our government, our continuation of government is doing behind the scenes to reverse the coup using the same tactics as the people that perpetrated the coup. And so that's what I listen to. Although to me, that's what I've gotten so much from. Although some of them are so advanced that I don't have the patience for it. I just want the information. There are people now that are so excited about it. It's a supernatural thing. The claim is that AI devised it, that the people behind it used AI to devise it. It's an incredible jigsaw puzzle with incredible information that can be taken from it. So some have predicted events from it. Others get a witness as to what's happening now. And we're told through this communication from QAnon that there is a plan to restore the country, and it's this reverse coup that I'm telling you about. And stay strong and be patriotic and trust President Trump. And that sounds scary. People have said to me, "Trust me," and I've said, "No, I won't." Okay, but that is one of the things that are said. There is a plan. The White Hats are in control. Okay, and the Republic is saved. Okay, and whoever can figure this out, then you don't have to be shocked when the truth is exposed. You're going to learn the truth from the grounds up by this method. Did I just explain that, Brooke?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what QAnon is. Yeah. And there are these people that are all into decoding it. And some of the decodes are fascinating because they explain what's happening today. And if you can believe it, it definitely helps. Of course, we have hope in Jesus Christ. But that doesn't mean the Republic will be saved. I know that I'll be saved. I know the world will be saved. I know the church will always prevail, maybe with different human garments, but the church will prevail. But I don't see any proof in the scripture that America will survive or that we won't go through another dark ages before Jesus prevails. I don't see anything like that in the scripture. We know what the outcome is, but the only thing I see in the book of Revelation, as I told you, is what each one of us has to go through personally to experience the personal revelation of Jesus Christ in ourselves. We are his body. We're his body, we're his vessel, we're his garment. And as long as it's going to take him to come forth in us without killing us, okay, we have to understand this for him to come forth in us without killing us. As long as it takes, that's as long as it's going to take to straighten out the mess out there. And there are a lot of people out there that are not where we are in doctrine. And some of them are not even, they believe in Jesus, whatever that means to them. They're nominal Christians. And God's using them because they're good at what they do. So we have to be very careful and watch that Pharisee spirit. Be very careful. Because once you start thinking incorrectly, you're in a wrong trajectory and you've got one foot on a banana peel. You need to put yourself before the Lord every day. Or if you talk to me and I hear it, I'll straighten you out. See? So we're in a reverse coup, and that's one possibility. There's another possibility that I am aware of is a possibility. I think he's alive. Okay. I'll tell you one more thing. Yes, the news is in on it. Yes, the news anchors are being reversed by the white hats. You know? And one of the key words is 17. 17 is the 17th letter of the alphabet is a Q. So it's like a code. If you want to pay attention to it, lots of 17s are coming forth in the news media, and what it is the white hat saying everything's under control. There is a plan, and everything's under control. Just listen. If you listen to the news, if they're talking about numbers, well, it was 17 million that this happened to. It was 1,700 the other day that this happened to. It was just 7 people. It was a 17. There were all of these 17s, and whether you believe it or not, that's what it means. Okay, that these people are saying, we know. Okay, we're in on it. Okay, we're serving the Republic. Everything's okay, and it's a big act that's going on now. We're reversing the mind control. But the other side apparently is still, I don't know. There are different opinions in the movement. Some say the other side is still active, and others say no, but that's the least of it. So I'm going to leave you with the other possibility of what happened to Charlie Kirk, and I guess we're going to end this. So the first possibility is that he was starting to tell the truth about Israel. And brethren, there's evidence that Israel was behind the government of Israel in the Middle East, okay? Was behind the assassination of President Kennedy. Why? Because it's another whole hour to talk to you about how Israel influences our legislators, and they never registered as a foreign agent. They're the only country that can lobby our legislators without having registered as a foreign agent. Something's really wrong with the degree to which Israel is influencing our legislators and paying them money. And however they get the money to them, that it's not outright illegal. I don't want to accuse anybody of anything. They're influencing our legislators. I don't have any details about them paying their money or anything like that. But they take money, the senators and the representatives. And Israel is the only one that is operating without registering as a foreign agent. And Kennedy was insisting that they do that. And he was assassinated, and to this day they have not registered as a foreign agent. So there are so many tentacles. I've been listening for years. I can't talk to you about all of it here. I'm not even capable of talking to you about everything about it here. So that's one theory. Okay, that Charlie Kirk was a Christian. He was Catholic. When I was young and immature, I distinguished between Catholicism and Christianity. Okay, who was it that defines Christian? Who was it that defines Christian? Okay, every man has to answer for himself. I know Mary's the head of the church. I know the whole story. Okay. They claim to be Christian. We need all the help we can get right now. He's not Muslim. He's Christian. So he was very pro-Israel. But I think even if he was raised Catholic, he was born again. Everything's all mixed up today. And he was very pro-Israel because the church is very pro-Israel because they don't know what they're doing. Jesus said the synagogue of Satan, and they're in bed with the state of Israel. They're mind controlled. The church has to wake up. The country has to wake up. The church has to wake up. Everybody has to wake up. You're all under mind control. You're sleeping with the enemy. The main organization that's the most prominent organized faction of Jews, because there were Jews all over the world living peacefully. But the organized faction that's politically active today, I'm told, is Lubavitch, which is all over the world. And they are on the record, they're leaders. I happen to know people that are members of this group, and I love them. I don't know, the leaders in wherever they are, not the people I know, that they have come to the conclusion that Christianity must be destroyed. to prevent the conversion of Jews, because a lot of Jews are converting to Christianity. So Charlie was very, and his wife, very pro-Israel, because that's the doctrine in the church. But of recent date, with all of what's going on in Gaza, his eyes were telling him something different than the doctrine in the church. And he was saying, how can God's people be doing this, exterminating another people? And so he was turning away from his support of Israel. And there was a video of his being concerned that Israel may not be too happy with him. And he was refusing to go to Israel to meet with Netanyahu. And so, an assassination, listen, Mossad is the intelligence arm of Israel. They're known for assassination, as is our military. The intelligence agencies, they do dirty work, brethren. They do all kinds of dirty work. He was a man with thousands or maybe millions of followers, I'm not sure. When you have that many people following you, you're a powerful person. They wanted him to stop saying the things he was saying. And now within 24 hours of his death, or his supposed death, Ben Shapiro has purchased Turning Point. Did you know that? That they had brother, I was a paralegal. You cannot draw up those documents in 24 hours. The sale was completed within 24 hours. Are you kidding me? And now Turning Point is owned by a so-called conservative. He's conservative except in every area, except when it comes to Israel, because he's Jewish. So all of those thousands of students that Charlie had an influence over, eventually they would have followed his lead to turn away from Israel also. And so Charlie isn't there anymore, and now Ben Shapiro is there to justify everything the state of Israel is doing to these young people. It's another data point. Okay, so the theory is that he was targeted for assassination by Israel, and the White Hats got there first and faked it. And he's in witness protection. You don't have to believe it. But listen to it. Put it in there. Ask the Lord. And the other possibility, which is maybe more difficult, but I don't know, maybe yes, maybe no, more difficult to understand. If you can believe what happened in Sandy Hook, and brethren, what is that? No one died in Sandy Hook. I gave you the name of the video earlier in the message. I think you owe it to yourself to listen to that video if you haven't listened to it. Just to understand the depth to which the government went to fake what happened at Sandy Hook, so that you could believe that our government is capable of that. There is something called the 60,000-man army. You could look it up I use Perplexity. I like perplexity.com or perplexity.ai. I like that. But you could probably look it up on Google. 60,000-man army. It's an operation of our Pentagon, where they have all of these people and they're in disguises, and they embed them in communities. Like, see, we had no problem believing the communists embedded that family in us in that series, The Americans. But do you want to believe that we will do the same thing, but not only to Russia, but to our own people? See, that's the accusation, that our own government has used these military operations against its own people. Embedded families in Sandy Hook, went 20 years ahead of the event to set it up, to make it look real. Had crisis actors, that people watching these, the watchdogs for these things, they'll show you pictures of each event of a shooting, the same crisis actor. They're hired people. So if you can believe that that's true, and you believe that Sandy Hook was staged, then the second possibility is that our military is reversing the coup. They're using the same tactics. They're embedding families in particular roles way years in advance of the time that their role will become active. And that Charlie Kirk and his family may have been one of those families. Okay? For a good purpose. They were embedded for what good purpose? To bring the conservative view to the university age brethren, which were being indoctrinated because the universities, but then that's what happened in Hitler's Germany. The universities went down first. All the intellects, I told you, my own family, the more educated they are, the more impossible their thoughts are. Did they do anything wrong? Well, no one wants to be tricked, except the kids were already being mind controlled. Because the establishment, the administration of the universities have been taken over. So they're reversing the coup. So that Charlie was embedded with his family. And it was time to take him out for whatever reason. Now, listen, this is good. I think I'm trying to end this. One of the key Q drops, and I wanted to tell you that yes, President Trump is in on it too. And there have been many witnesses that President Trump is in on it, except that I feel I really have to end this. I have to preach tomorrow. I don't even know what I'll do tomorrow. How long am I preaching, Brooke?
2 hours.
I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. I don't know. President Trump has given signals that yes, he knows about it. That it comes from American military grade. It's military grade operation. Okay. What was I saying before I just said that, Brooke?
Q drops.
Q drops. I was talking about Q drops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of the Q, and you'll find that the people that are really into this, there are certain Q drops that they'll, it's like become a mantra to them, you know. And one of them is that they've been waiting for, is the shot that's heard around the world. That was one of the Q drops. Now remember, there are no more Q drops. These are all finished. They came out in the 2017, 2018. I don't know how long they went on. There are none coming out now. And they're all it's being proven that they were prophesying what's happening now. How did they do that? I don't know. AI. Either it's AI or this really is a show. And that's one of the things that's being said. That what's happening now was being staged. Why? To wake up the people that cannot wake up out of this mind control. It's right in front of your eyes. Don't you see that it's wrong? And everybody, the large numbers of Americans are eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage. Well, this may be the shot that was heard around the world. The whole world has lit up over this. Anybody that has anything decent left in their heart and their soul knows that it is disgusting to be rejoicing that anyone's assassinated. President Trump has declared that the American military was responsible for assassination of at least one that I can think of at the moment. Did I rejoice that the man was dead? The thought of rejoicing that anybody's dead. And why did America assassinate this man? I would assume he was a military threat to America. To assassinate somebody because of their opinion? Here it is, boom. What side are you on? All of you people, walking the rail. Which side are you on? You've got to go to, and this is not a political Democratic or Republican. Which side of morality are you on? Where are you? Are you going to overcome the fact that the last 6 generations of your family were Democrats and you can't break from the Democratic Party? What is it going to take? The Democratic representatives, I think it was the reps or the senators, I'm not sure, they refused to say a prayer for Charlie Kirk. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They wouldn't pray for him. Maxine Waters has been calling for assassinations for a couple of years already. What is it going to take to bomb you out of the Democratic Party? Well, something just happened. And another keyword, I would call it a keyword, another keyword, Q drop, is Turning Point, and that was the name of Charlie's organization. Is this the turning point? You see, the army, not the army, the military, not the army, the military, okay? It's basically the Marines and the Space Force. The army's infiltrated, as I understand it, are ready to take over the government and arrest thousands of people in one day. What do you think the National Guard is doing in D.C.? Do you really believe they're there to pick up local people breaking the law? There were going to be thousands of arrests. They're waiting for the people to be on their side. So out of all the things that this plan has been doing to wake up the people that are in a deep spiritual sleep from hypnosis, MK-Ultra mind control, all of the things the White House have been doing to wake them up, and they've been, and the things that they've been doing have increased in their intensity over the last couple of years, for the last years, increased in intensity for the last 5 years. And now there's a boom. Who was left sleeping? Who was left sleeping? Is they going, one of the cue drops was 3 booms. Was this the first boom, the third boom? I don't know, I'm not up on it. Well, I'm not up on the booms. Yeah. Is it going to take another boom? At what point will the military go in and arrest the whole government? That are more loyal to another country, they're more loyal to Israel than they are to America. And they're in our government, making laws that affect the American people, and they're more loyal to Israel than they are to America. Giving away billions of dollars and not taking care of the problems here. And then it goes into what really happened in Ukraine and what's really happening in Gaza. Brethren, I can't do that for you. It's too vast. So the bottom line is that we're all called to it, and the degree to which you immerse your mind in this is between you and the Lord. It's my job to make you aware of it. I can't do any better than this, and it's a totally inadequate job, and I'm talking for 2 hours. So I personally think that Charlie Kirk is alive. I'm very interested in listening to Dave's presentation tonight, or I believe that's the point he's going to make with all of his proofs. I don't have any proofs for you. I'm just repeating information to you. So I just wonder if what happened to the internet was that the Lord wanted this to go public. He didn't want it to be a secret message. So, I'll grant you this. I would hope that you would all have something to say, something, but if you don't want to, it's okay. Am I going to lie to you and tell you that there's no disappointment at all, that I have no reaction whether you participate or you don't participate. I'm completely neutral. I cannot tell you that. So if you choose to not participate with the comment, I'm disappointed, but I still love you and I'm not mad at you. And I would hope that it would be otherwise, but I accept your decision. And this is the true definition of love. I have no desire to exert any pressure on you for anything, and I have never done that. I don't believe I've ever done that. Have I ever done that to you? No. The only thing I've ever asked is that you don't make any trouble here, right? Have I ever asked anything else? Have I? So I was hoping that Brooke and Susan would give a little testimony, because they're the ones that are here all the time, and we have these conversations all the time. But I would not ask them to do that in the public. I wouldn't ask them to do that. So I would like to go from here to Telegram for whoever would like to follow us to Telegram. And I would appreciate it if Brooke and Susan would just say something. And all of you, if you would just say something, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But it would be nice if you at least listen. I think, Brooke, you did agree to give your testimony, did you not? To say something? Not here on Telegram.
On Telegram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it would be nice if you would at least listen to what she had to say. And I believe I asked Susan also. Susan's not in the Selden Center. She's still at home. So we're going to end this video and go back on Telegram. Telegram's working. What was not working was the video. So if the video is working, we'll videotape it, but it will not be published publicly. So you don't have to be concerned about that. If the video is not working, we'll just audio tape it. And it would be nice if you all had something to say, but if you want to remain silent, that's okay. And if you want to remain silent, it would be nice if you came to listen. But it's strictly up to you all. Your decisions have no effect whatsoever on my respect for you or my love in Christ for you. I love you very much. And so if I don't see you in Telegram, I will be here tomorrow. I guess I'll preach a regular message tomorrow, I guess. So I'm laughing because I have no preparation for it. Okay, we'll see what the Lord gives me. Okay, brethren, unless somebody wants to speak publicly, does anybody want to speak publicly on this video? Anybody? Okay, brethren, so
I don't know how they would speak publicly.
they can't, well, they would have to type it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna end this stream and I'll meet whoever's coming. I'll meet you in Telegram. In I guess about 5 minutes. Okay, brethren, God bless you. Thank you for coming out on your day off. And again, I'm very grateful to Brooke for assisting me and giving up all of this time. That's so precious to her. God bless you all.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, Leffy.
Okay, hi, Pastor. Hi, everyone. So thank you, Pastor, for doing this and giving us the opportunity to talk about it as well, because I think it's nice for us to share how we feel and to just have a discussion about it, and just be real about where we're at and how we're thinking about it. And it's why I raised the questions, because there were questions in my mind, and I think maybe other people have those questions, but they do, or similar questions, but they're not raising them. So I just jotted down a few points, while I was listening to you, some things that are still sort of on my mind. And I agree with what Auntie Dele just said, which is that, everything is a possibility. And I definitely believe in that. And I agree. And actually, everything you say about agendas and the world government, I totally agree. And I see it very clearly, COVID and all of those things. But I think that for every situation that we're seeing as well, we need to kind of look at all the information and pray about it and then, process it and come to a conclusion on what we think. And And I guess I'm just wary of only listening to one side, whether that side is QAnon or whether that side is mainstream media. I think it should be everything, and then leaving it before the Lord for a while before coming up with with what we think, and also time, right? Because some things will come out in time that may not come out immediately. So I guess my concerns are this. One is that, if the white hats are behind everything and they're in control of everything and they're doing all of these things to wake people up, my concern is that I see more confusion than waking up. I see, like with this thing that's happened, I see a lot of confusion. I see a lot of division. I see some people saying, oh, some people happy that he was killed. Some people saying, oh, he was a racist. A lot of Black people are saying he was a racist. Some people saying, well, no, they're mourning him. And then the Christian community as well is mourning a Christian who's been shot, doing the work of the Lord. And then you have the Q people saying, well, he's not actually dead. Well, some say he's dead, but it's Israel that killed him. And then some Q people are saying, well, he's not actually dead. So for me, if this is all the white hats, I think it's far worse than just being plain about the truth, because it's another form of control. If they are doing exactly the same thing as the black hats are doing, in that they're trying to do it subterfuge or through a coup because they don't think people would understand, I feel like it's still taking power away from the people, and you're doing things that you think are right and are the best things for everybody else. And then you're just making it so mysterious by dropping these Q codes and nobody understands and is subject to interpretation. So I guess those are my concerns about the approach. But, everything is possible, and we live in a very evil world with all sorts of agendas and powers. So, yeah, but I guess those are just my concerns about this concept of the white hats are in control and everything now is just what the white hats are doing. And, we shouldn't worry, and the end is going to be okay because it's all the white hats. I guess I just have a concern about that. But yeah, it's to pray about it, it's to take it away. I have to say that I am.
Matthew, excuse me. I didn't say that, Matthew. I didn't say that at all. That everything's going to be okay and we should just go on with our lives. That's not what I said at all. So, first of all, the confusion is good. The confusion is a sign that people are not lackadaisical and that they're waking up. The confusion is exactly what they want to accomplish. What's going on today is exactly, whether he is alive or dead, what's going on today is exactly what the White Hats wanted to accomplish, that people should be awake and talking about it and having this conversation rather than just going on with their lives as you just described, okay? And again, it's every individual, whether or not they're going to wake up. Everything's not okay. A lot of people are going to die. They're going to die never knowing the truth. It's not okay. It's a war. It's a war every day for every individual to the degree that they want to engage in the war. Or do they just want to lie down in their lethargy and live out the rest of their lives and die? No, everything's not okay. Everything's not okay. If the people don't wake up, world communism will take hold and we will all be subject to famine and great disaster. It's not okay. Absolutely not. Did I explain it did I just explain my position? No, everything's not okay, not at all. We're dancing on the head of the pin. The people have to wake up or we will become enslaved. America is the last man standing. If America doesn't wake up and support the takeover of the government by the military, the whole world is going into another dark age. I hope I made it clear this time. Are you still there? I hope I made it clear this time.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, thank you. But I do appreciate your opinion. I just gave you a counter opinion. I hope that's okay because you didn't understand what I was saying. If you want to believe that, I respect your right to believe that. But I had to tell you that that's not what I said. Okay? Are we understanding each other?
Yes, but it wasn't you I wasn't saying that you said that. I was saying that the white hats are saying that, like they
No,
are in,
they're not.
oh, they're
They're
not
not
saying that.
saying
Oh,
that.
okay.
They're not
Okay.
saying. I did my best to relay what I believe they're trying to do. No, I would never indicate that that's what I think they're doing. Not at all. It's what I just told you. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to save the country and the world. And as I understand it, other governments, this is a world alliance. The White Hats are, it's not just America. It's leaders all over the world that are they're trying to save the world from going into the Dark Ages, going under these guys are Satanists and they're ready to take over the world. And the people are fast asleep and on the side of the Satanists. So this is like you see, the military is no good. If the military goes in and replaces all of this illegal government, and the people are still sleeping, the people will go against the military, and the world is finished. It will be a world slavery. That's the situation that the White Hats are dealing with. Otherwise, they would have gone in 2020 and taken over. The army is no good without the people. Even in the Bible, we read multiple times, the people made so-and-so a king. If the people are not on your side, you have no government. They'll just kill you and put whoever they want up there. No, that's the whole point. We have to stop relying on government and stop relying on institutions. Every man is responsible. And if enough people accept that responsibility, the world will be saved. And the Lord is watching. The Lord is watching. Okay? It's the separation of the sheep and the goats. The Lord is watching. And there will be, no matter what happens, I'm so sorry I failed to make this point. No matter what happens, there'll always be a survivor. If the world goes into slavery and another dark age, okay, there will be a survivor likened to Noah and his 3 sons. And we'll start over again. Because Jesus Christ is glorified. So we will start over again. But we're talking about billions of people dying, not pleasant deaths. It will happen what happened on the other side of the flood. It's not okay. It's not okay. So I hope I conveyed what I believe to be the truth to you so that you might consider it. And that's the whole question is, do you understand what I just said? And do you understand that I believe that's the position of the White Hats, which I should have told you it's beyond America. It's military leaders across the world. So I hope that you understand, that I made myself clear to you now, Abby. I didn't mean to rebuke you or anything like that. I was just passionate in what I said.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you.
You're welcome, Abby.